I released my first album, Bouquet, which featured my favorite and best piano pieces at the time. I really enjoyed sharing my music with others and wanted to expand my boundaries even more. As I progressed from 2019 to 2020, I've improved much since my last album. For one thing, I've gotten better at my dynamics, movement, balance, and coordination in my music, among other skills. I've become more confident in performing in front of others and learned to take constructive feedback as an opportunity to improve my performance. Last of all, I learned to write my own arrangements to songs that I enjoy, all while expanding my creativity and thinking. To mark a new achievement in my musical education, I plan to record my most recent songs, most of them arranged by me, and combine them into a new album. I present to you Project Dreamcatcher. The goal of this project is to successfully record the chosen songs and put them together to create an album to be released on music platforms, such as Spotify and Apple Music. Completing this project will mark an important part of what I learned at Oclef and how far I've come since I released Broken. I decided to name my album Dreamcatcher because my songs are all based on my interpretation of a good dream, slow and hypnotic, light and upbeat, or majestic and grand. This album would be similar to an actual dream catcher, which is believed to capture good dreams and pass it down to the person sleeping beneath it, or in this case, the listener. I request that the following songs are to be recorded to create the album. Perfect by Ed Sheeran, Strong by Sana Bell, Dancing the Life by Richard Dillon, Memories by Maroon 5, Lost in Thoughts All Alone by Molly, Edge of Dawn by Molly, Ocean Eyes by Billie Eilish, First Man by Camila Cabello, and Never Ending Story by Lamont. I plan to record my pieces at Oclef over the next 4 Saturdays starting from September 19th. I also would like to use a keyboard to complete the project more efficiently. To complete Project Dreamcatcher, I will need your help with recording my pieces at Oclef, publishing my recordings on Apple Music, Spotify, and vinyl, assisting me with adding electronic background music to several of my recordings, and publishing my written pieces from Sibelius. I have little experience with recording, little experience with using a keyboard, and no experience of adding electronic background music, so I asked that after reading all my pieces, I add background music in Oclef so I can get the help of the staff at Oclef if needed. To support and give back to Oclef and its students, I will contribute my written pieces from Sibelius for Oclef students to learn. All in all, I hope you'll consider accepting and assisting me with Project Dreamcatcher and help me progress further into my musical education.
All right, great. Thank you very much for this presentation. We're gonna start, and I'm gonna have Chris go first. He's gonna give you some feedback because it looks like a lot of the things that you have on your list of things that you'll need are fall under his domain. So I'm gonna first pass it over to him.
Yeah. It's definitely a really solid proposal, and I think you have a very solid plan for how you plan to go about it. Um, I think the main thing would be, I guess, one having figuring out like what you're kind of looking for in terms of like the electronic background music, especially like genres, styles, and the types of instruments you're looking for. And then how do you want to kind of add that into the arrangement? And then beyond that, I would say like, do you have all the arrangements set up like for all these pieces already, in terms of like the piano part at least?
I've already decided on how to play the songs, but I haven't written all of them down in Sibelius yet.
Okay. Um, yeah, I mean that's fine. Although I would say definitely in terms of like from the production aspect, you'll probably want to have like a written score at some point to kind of like at least to share the ideas and kind of put those down. And then I would say in terms of like um, definitely the mixing of like both electronic sounds and the recording of the piano is going to be I think it'll be interesting. So kind of like meshing that together and like, and also do you have a specific like DAW or recording software that you plan to use, or how do you plan to go about the recording?
I would like to use a keyboard, but I'm not exactly sure what type of website I would like to use because I don't have much experience with recording.
Okay. Yeah, so I think definitely um, figuring out the two things that I think you should probably look up is one, MIDI, and then two, audio recording, and the differences between those two. And then deciding that if you want to use a keyboard, like do you want to record sounds from the keyboard, or do you want to like if there's a MIDI input to be able to do kind of more electronic type of stuff? And then if you want to go more acoustic with your sounds, or if you kind of want to go like more like electronic with like synthesizer type of sounds, and like using the keyboard for like other sounds that besides like a acoustic piano. So kind of like determining the sounds that you want in terms of your arrangements as well.
I'm gonna just butt in here real quick. Sorry about that. So Chris, I actually already know that her first album was acoustic, right? So
Okay.
I think she wants to try this through MIDI, is what we talked about.
Okay.
So we're gonna do it. That's why she mentioned keyboard. So she doesn't want
Yeah.
to do audio through keyboard. She wants to do MIDI through keyboard. And then actually, I really like the point you brought up, Chris, about so this is important, Emma. You need to complete the scores before we produce the album because otherwise, how can we figure out the background tracks without having a score, right? We're just gonna like it'll be like a guess almost otherwise. So the writing out, I know you have probably what half? Is that what you have right now, or more than half of them written out?
I'm working on the last one, but I would like to get some feedback later on how to improve them.
Yeah, sure, we can do that, of course. Yeah. So yeah, that'll also be with Chris. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to get from a production standpoint, you do need to get all of them written out because then when we produce it, he'll be looking at the score because otherwise he's gonna just be guessing based off of what you're doing. So I think that's a good point. So the next step for you on your timeline would be that you need to finish all the scores out before we record or before we add in the electronic parts. I guess you could record first, and just we wouldn't be able to edit it at all until you finish the scores. Okay. So, or we could start editing. You can figure out how you want to do it. We can even edit the ones that you already have written out and start doing that, like do it in a process. But maybe organize that part of it next. I don't know if you had anything to add, Fong or Matt.
I do not. It's a very, very, very nice proposal. Congratulations. Your timeline seems a little bit aggressive, right? Uh, I would, I don't know, right? So, but I would factor in some more time. Other than that, I think it's very, very nice.
Sure. Yeah, I actually agree. I think we probably should space it out. Considering that you're adding electronic music, we still need to finish writing out the scores. 4 weeks for the recording is probably good. Um, and then where did you put for the end of the project? Where was that? Like the completion of the project?
I didn't exactly write down the date, but I said it would be the following 4 weeks from starting from September 19th.
Okay, so that's for the recording aspect of it. I get that, but I was just trying to figure out. So maybe let's set it, and that's another thing. You'll probably need to set a date on the timeline for when you want to finish. Like, as this is like a multi-step project, right? So there's the making of the
Yeah.
score, there's the production, there's recording. It's not as simple as the first project that you did, where there's more steps here. So then maybe let's build out the rest of those dates. And Matt, did you have anything to add? So to finish up?
No, that's all. I was going to say this sounds like a great, you really have a lot of this planned out. It sounds like I was thinking of seconding one of the points Chris hit about um, the finished product, just in terms of genre, precisely like what kind of, again, about the audience. So what audience are you aiming for? What type or types of genres are you intersecting with this? So I noticed you brought out a lot of variety in the kind of pieces you want to record. So is this something where you want each piece to be a really different style, or are you all wanting them all to be some sort of consistent sound? But other than that, it seems like you've already started thinking about that. So everything else looks great. Good project.
Emma, can you comment on that? I'm actually curious myself what the answer is to that.
Um, they all have different personalities, but I named I named it Dreamcatcher because they all sound really dreamy. So they're um, a good dream can be like different in many ways. So I guess they all have different personalities, and the background music would be kind of different.
Okay, maybe one other aspect. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, Matt.
No, you're fine. That was all. I was just saying, okay.
Yeah, the other thing I was just gonna add is maybe, you know how we do sometimes we do like a storyboard or like a comic strip about certain pieces. You might want to storyboard the electronic music because if you're not going to be producing it, or if you said you want to help, right? So if Chris does it for you, or if somebody else produces that for you, you kind of want to give them a vision for what you want. So I just thought also there's that element. Now, if you want to do it yourself, the timeline's got to be way longer because then that's going to take a way more like a substantial lot more time than you have currently. Because you'll be producing electronic music for each one of those. That's going to take a long amount of time. But if you have Chris do it, or we have a team of other people do it alongside Chris, we can do it quicker. But you want to make sure that the outcome that they produce is in line with what you want.
Hmm.
So you might have to create some kind of storyboard. Like for example, the soundscape for Perfect is like this. This is my vision. These are the characteristics. These are the parts I want to bring out. Something like that might be helpful as well.
Also, maybe
Yeah, and I'm not sure what your actual production plan was going to be, but maybe um, I know that we said composing the scores and getting those done is the next step, but it may be also good to maybe try one or two of the pieces you have ready just to see, just to get a feel for what the production process will entail, so you have a better idea of how long then all the other pieces might take as well.
yeah, I think that's like in the pre-production, like at least like score prep, but also something that I'm also thinking is having some like reference tracks, either like similar sounds, similar artists that you're kind of like aiming for as well, since that will help to kind of build that vision of what you're looking for within your pieces and the sounds that you're hoping to mix together.
Great. Lastly, Emma, I've recorded this entire thing, so I'm going to share it with you. I missed like the first 3 seconds when you start talking, but I got everything after that. So I'll share this with you, and we're also going to post it. I'll post a link on YouTube, and you can get it, so that way you can go over our comments. I've also taken notes myself. If you want to talk more with me about this later today or anytime in the future, um, or if you want to meet up with us again before as another milestone along the project, you can. We have dates available in November. Okay. All right. Hopefully this is helpful. Do you have any questions?
No, I'm good for now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. See you guys. Thanks.